This is nothing but that sports talk.
Yeah, I know you were happy to be back in the WNBA arenas again. As I walk you through this episode, nothing but that sports talk. Rafiq Lewis on, Camille from Wslam. How you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on the first half of the WNBA season, as including the games that you actually attended this past first half of the season.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I didn't get to attend too many. I attended about two or three here in Barclays, but really excited to see Barclays Center slowly filling back up and Liberty fans getting excited. Since they had such a strong start to the season. But yeah, lots of exciting things this first half of the WNBA season. Seattle, surprisingly, but not surprisingly, is still on top with the best record. But we're seeing a lot of other teams really start out to shine. Chicago had a really slow start, but they've really climbed their way now to, I believe, the third in the league right now with their record. And really are on the upswing to make a really good push into the playoffs in the second half of the season. But yeah, a lot of exciting things. I think we got to see a really young, scrappy Liberty team, come through and win some games. And now they're in a position to potentially make the playoffs this year, which would be a really incredible thing for that organization, seeing as they've kind of rebuilt from the ground up. But I think the most exciting thing to see is, Tina Charles's rise in Washington and her MVP campaign and in my opinion, lone runner. She's averaging 30 a game, and she's really putting that Mystics team on her back and doing what they need to do to get them to the playoffs. And hopefully maybe with a healthy EDD and Emma Meesseman back, we could see a really, really exciting playoff run from them.
Exactly. We could see a playoff run for a lot of teams, especially the New York Liberty you mentioned, as you had a chance to witness Sabrina Ionescu's first game winner, and her first triple-double, which is everything you expected when she first came into the league. We were pretty much robbed of her rookie season last year, but we're finally getting to see that now. Even you get to do some work covering her, and then also that cover of the magazine with the 4 WNBA players before the season started, including sidelined by Diana and Nneka Ogwumike, and then, of course, recently the Candace Parker cover for Slam magazine.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun. I'm getting to work on those. I think it's a lot of covers that should have been years in the making, if not decades, including especially the one with Candace. So it's been a really, really great experience to be within the company to make, some of these covers happen that we should have seen a long time ago.
Exactly. And we also should see another USA versus WNBA in general. I know that's happened before in the past, but the way the game was structured in Las Vegas, like literally setting off USA all the way up until the Olympics coming up, that is something amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun. I think that setup really encouraged people to watch and encouraged more, I would say, casual fans to watch, because anytime you see a national team or USA team, a lot of people get behind it. So I think I'm really excited to see what the viewership was for that game. It was a really exciting one, and we got to see a lot of young stars show out. And I think that was my favorite part, is seeing, because a lot of Team USA are big time veterans and greats of this game. But, we're always looking forward to who's the next generation, who's going to step up next. And Enrique was that in this game. So it's really exciting to see some of those younger players, 7 first-time All-Stars on that WNBA team, really, take their shine, their moment, and carry us into the next generation of WNBA.
It's funny because when I spoke to Enrique Gumawale in the Zoom conference not too long ago, she talked about how everything that she did during her college days doesn't matter now that she's actually in the pros, and she's literally bringing it in the pros. And I always enjoyed talking about Enrique's game, including her being the All-Star MVP and stuff. This is the type of accomplishment that's going to make her a USA Olympian someday.
Definitely. I think that was part of it. I know everyone on Twitter was making about her being snubbed on the USA team, which anyone could also, make that argument. There's a lot of greats on that team, on the US national team, but Enrique is one of the next ones up. So was really excited for her to put on in that moment. And really excited to see what she's doing with a lot of the younger players on the Dallas Wings as well, with Marina Mabry, her former Notre Dame teammate who's showing up this season, Charlie Collier, Owak's doing really, really well, Satu as well. So the Wings are an exciting team to watch. They have a lot of talent on that roster.
Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't really get to cover the WNBA All-Star game.
I know.
But you know what? Better years are coming for you.
I'll be back next year.
Especially since you're now the director of the Wslam, but which we'll get more to that in a little bit. I want to address the situation with Liz Cambage walking away from the Olympics due to mental health issues. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got to do what's best for them. And if that's the decision she made, I respect her for that.
Yeah, that's the best we can do. And if USA were to win gold medal this year, will it be just as good as the past winning teams from like 96, 2008, 2012, and 16?
I think it's really hard to compare any team to that 96 team, or even I would say, 96, 2004 team. The Athens team was really good. Having a lot of the young stars combined with the veterans. And so I don't know. I really don't think I can compare each team because each, I think, era of basketball is different. And they each, I would say, run different systems. So I'm interested to see how this team does this year, having had a little bit of trouble in some of the exhibition games. But I think now that they've spent a little bit more time together, playing together and really and gelling well, they're going to make a good far run in this Olympic tournament. Hopefully bring back the 6th gold, 96, 2000,
yeah,
2002, or
this will be the 6th gold medal. Because let's face it, most of the wins in USA have been completely one-sided. So it's about time they had some tough competition between the loss against the WNBA and then that one close game loss not too long ago. I mean, you can expect that the winning streak's going to eventually come to an end because all good days do come to an end for Team USA as much as we're watching the win.
Definitely. And I think it speaks to the growth of women's basketball internationally. And more than anything, that's exciting to see. I know it's sad for us fans from Team USA, but it really is exciting to see the growth of talent that's growing all over the world, because that shows you how global of a game this is turning into. Not that it already wasn't, but it is something that we really see a lot of talent coming from everywhere. When you look at the Australian national team, you have a couple of WNBA stars in that one. Nigeria now with Shanae and Erica. There's a lot of talent across the world. So really, really excited to see what this tournament brings out and who really shows up that maybe we didn't know of before.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't talk about this, but most of these WNBA players that did make it to Team USA, they've all played internationally during the off season. And that's what really helped them get to where they are right now. Because think about it. I mean, there's no way we can watch their games internationally, but at the very least, we're getting to watch them when the Olympics come around.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I'm hoping for the day that sooner rather than later that they don't have to do that. Just because playing 24/7 is not easy for any mental, physical, or holistic state of these players, because it's hard playing 24/7, 365, being away from family, friends, kids, So I am hoping for the day that sooner rather than later that is no longer a necessity that they have to do.
That's exactly true. Consider the circumstances, the fact that the WNBA have a completely long off season where season ends always around like September or October if you were to add the Olympic schedule to it. While the NBA, they have the past few seasons they've had shorter off season, and this year is no exception. Mm-hmm. Well, you're right. They shouldn't have to play internationally just to up their game.
Yeah, and I think the schedule of the WNBA will change too as it grows. So we'll start seeing that lengthen into maybe the rest of fall, starting in the spring, where you have, not just 42 games, but even more. So I think that's the direction we're heading in. I think expansion's first. A lot of other things are first, but I think at one point we will turn on the TV in November, like Diana said in our interview, and we'll be watching, the Mercury instead of the Suns.
Exactly. I can't wait for that to happen. Now, on to you. What are some other projects that you've been up to for Wslam, including the ones I just mentioned earlier with the magazine covers, now that you're actually the director? What's the difference between that and where you first started?
Yeah, my role doesn't change that much, more just the title and a little bit more of the responsibilities. I think for myself, I'm a lot more involved in the brand partnerships conversations, our events conversations, and really being a spearheading, I would say, voice in those rooms, just because now women's basketball is making every company money, including our own. So now I'm a little bit more involved in that process, and I'm not as involved involved in the day-to-day social media stuff. I have a great team that I work with Gianni and a lot of the interns that are with us this summer. So I'm really blessed to have a really great group of women to work with. But in terms of things I'm working on, there is one special project that I can't announce yet because it hasn't been formally signed. So I'll have to keep it under wraps, but we have something really big coming prior to playoffs. So really, really exciting. It'll be the first of its kind that's done, at least from our company. So I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Well, I'm glad that WSlam just continues to grow, and I wish this is too bad that I never have a chance to actually help you with the process of being able to grow WSlam to the way it is. But you know what? I guarantee if we continue growing what we're growing, we're going to work together eventually someday like you do with you being special guest on my show. And yeah.
100%. I appreciate that. And I appreciate everything you do. I think it's an incredible thing that, you create content all day, all the time around all different sports. And I think that's something that's so special and needed, especially in the women's space. So really excited to help continue grow this space, with hopefully a long future, but it's one day at a time right now.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, let's just say if I keep this up, again, we'll be working together someday.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
And now wrap up this episode of Nothing But That Sports Talk. I can't wait for you to enjoy the Olympics.
Thank you. Yes, you as well.
And to all the balls out there, get your head in the game.
Thank you so much.